Hello, this is my CCTP dissertation project. This project will present how to create adaptive non-player character systems, better known as NPCs, in games. So to begin, an important question would be, what are adaptive NPC systems? Well, they are usually a combination of smaller subsystems, such as difficulty scaling, dynamic behaviors, and role adaptations, that make NPCs seem more sophisticated with the ability to react to a variety of scenarios, and more importantly, player actions. This project will look to investigate existing adaptive NPC systems, such as the Nemesis system, and then reverse engineer it by creating diagrams of how these systems may work, and finally, create an adaptive NPC prototype. Here is a poster that summarizes the project. Feel free to pause the video to learn more. Here is a quick run through of the prototype. Here the player uses their initial skill points. The player then has the choice to choose between three enemies to battle. These enemies will have unique names, different classes, and different statistics. Here you can see four different attacks available to the player. These have different levels of accuracy calculated upon the initial accuracy of the attack and taking into account the enemy's dodge rate. On the left hand side is the combat log. This records all interactions between the player and the enemy. The game loop will consist of the player continually fighting enemies and assigning their skill points. However, a player may be ambushed after assigning their skill points. This occurs when an enemy survives a previous battle with the player. They are then seeking out revenge. You can check the history of an enemy and see how they've evolved throughout your playthrough. You may notice the name of the enemy has slightly changed. This is an adaptive method that changes the name of enemies depending on how they were defeated and what moves were used against them. To summarize, this prototype can act as a teaching tool and help developers learn how adaptive systems can be made. There is an importance to understand that the user interface could use different or include more gameplay mechanics other than combat, such as movement. For example, the enemy could adapt and use different attacks depending on how the player is moving. This illustrates how each button or gameplay mechanic can be linked to unique adaptive responses from NPCs. The complex systems that interweave to create this experience can be found within the report in further detail. Thank you for watching.